Welcome to my 2024 mid-year gaming checkpoint where I list my favorite games of the year so far, what I hope to play from what is released up to this point, and what I want to play for the rest of the year. Don't want to waste your time, so let's get started. Kick Bastards. When Mirror's Edge and Dying Light broke onto the scene, I was super excited to see more takes on the first-person parkour genre, and I've only gotten 2 games like that since then, both of which being sequels. Well, now there's 3, with Kick Bastards. It's an arcadey take on first-person parkour, and for a team of 2 people, they did a good job. It has a lot of cool tech to make speedrunning fun, and a good sense of speed and momentum. Where it falls short in my opinion is the overall level design. There's some really cool ones with multiple pathways and room for creativity, while others are a bit too narrow. The challenge levels do make up for that a bit though, and in the end, it's a nice, short, fun time. It didn't knock my socks off or anything, but I liked what it had to offer. Frog. A tactics-driven, turn-based platformer? I dig it. This is such an inventive and cool mix of styles and genres, and it's executed really damn well. The roguelike elements are decently robust, it has a claustrophobic dungeon feeling to it, which I think is sick, and the tactics element can result in some tough choices. Even though it's a little bit scant in terms of content offering regarding bosses and items, for the price point it's being sold at, it's worth the price of admission. I think this game deserves more attention, and I hope it gets it. Shishingo, learn Japanese with photography. The concept of this game is amazing. A game where I can digitally tour a foreign city, take pictures of whatever I want, and then learn how to pronounce the names of the items I'm photographing, Jesus fucking Christ. Photographing in real time is genius. And Shishingo has a great foundation for that concept to succeed. The city it takes place in is gorgeous, there's a lot to photograph, and it's nice to walk around with the city ambience in your ear. The art direction is great, and when it comes to learning words in Japanese, it did work mostly for me. I do think it's missing some features to strengthen the learning process, like precise pronunciations for example. I do hope the game gets more updates, like more words and potentially a new area. It's a chill game that's doing something pretty unique, and I think that's cool. I hope it fully blossoms in the near future. Maniac. Now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I miss playing GTA Chinatown Wars. Something about that top-down perspective while causing so much destruction and shooting so much shit was alluring as hell, even with the 3D GTA games rising in popularity at the time. I know I will never get something like this from Rockstar ever again, but it's okay. Maniac is my best friend now. This is like the love child of Chinatown Wars and Pain. You guys remember Pain, right? That game was awesome. Anyways, Maniac is a perfect dick around and fuck shit up kind of game, and it's dope. It kind of loses its luster after the first 2 or 3 runs, but even then, it's always nice to hijack tanks and blow up civilians with it. Very relaxing too, if I might add. Rise of the Ronin. I was pretty excited for Rise of the Ronin because of Team Ninja's legacy, and it was their first time tackling an open world. And on paper, an open world with Team Ninja's signature batshit crazy combat is a dream. But in practice, I think it ends up being a lot like Rage 2, where the combat absolutely shines no matter how you approach it, but everything else doesn't quite support the core of it that well. Ronin's world isn't that visually interesting, there's not many interesting things to do, and it has a lot of systems that don't accentuate the gameplay as well as I would have hoped, but it does excel in the areas where it matters most, which is the gameplay. Combat was almost always fun, the animations are great, and most of the unique bosses were super sick and super challenging to fight, which is what I usually play Team Ninja games for anyway. It's definitely my least favorite Team Ninja game that they've done in a while, but I still had a good amount of fun with it. Children of the Sun. This is one of the most trippy, violent, creepy, and psychedelic video games I have played in a while. The presentation is so hazy and distorted, the vibes of it are so creepy and twisted. It has a very unique atmosphere that I haven't experienced since the days of Manhunt. At its core, it's a satisfying puzzle shooter that feels like it mixed Sniper Elite and Superhot together. There are more than a handful of great levels that I had to treat as logistical puzzles, and they were so much fun to solve. Long story short, Children of the Sun is super dope. Please do not miss this. God damn it, I told you not to miss, you stupid piece of shit motherfucker. Anomaly Agent. When I first bought Anomaly Agent, I expected a pretty cool action platformer with some 80s music and not much else. What I got was a very satisfying beat 'em up that just got better and better the further I progressed. It has some crunchy and weighty combat. It has so much, you know. There's a lot more depth and spectacle to the fights than meet the eye, and it's pretty demanding later on when you are fighting 20 dudes at the same time. The story is a fun, goofy time as well. It's a tightly wound, well-made package. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend this if you haven't checked it out already. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. I really like this game. It's my second most played game of the year behind my number one game. I actually would have had it higher on my list if Season 1 didn't under-deliver the way it did. And yes, I am one of those 25 players that the internet loves to joke about. And listen here, internet. I have feelings too. Anyways, I have more than a fair amount of issues with the game that I have well documented in my 3 videos about it. I'm practically a Suicide Squad YouTuber now, which I didn't ever envision, but who knows where life will take you, I guess. I know this isn't the game people wanted from Rocksteady after all these years, especially it being a live service, which I completely understand and mostly agree with, but I won't lie. A DC-themed looter shooter is something I never thought I wanted, and I'm so glad I have one, because this game does a lot of cool shit with its gameplay, loot systems, and the DC universe in general. I've also met a good amount of cool people playing the game, so I value it a lot more than just a game I like. It definitely needs a lot more, which the future seasons will hopefully add, and even though it might not live that long, I'm still excited to play more of it, meet more people, see my favorite heroes again, and finish the Brainiac storyline. Slave Zero X. A lot of games tout that they are inspired by fighting games, and that's a great thing to hear as a fighting game fanatic, but no other game that I've experienced thus far truly means that more than Slave Zero X. The description on Steam lists DMC, Strider, and Guilty Gear as its main influences, and I think Guilty Gear has the biggest spread out of the 3 by far. It has Roman cancels, special cancels, dash cancels, Gatlings, Devil Trigger, bursts, parries, evades, and a lot more. It makes theory crafting combos and stuff so much fun. It also has some pretty nasty bosses and set pieces, and it just makes me happy to see a single player game go all in on its fighting game influences. I also adore the biopunk aesthetic. It's a very grimy, grotesque, and grim future on display. To my surprise, the story packed a punch, mostly because of its very strong emotional core, and the soundtrack is absolutely excellent. I didn't even know this was a prequel to a 1999 game, which just makes it even cooler. I hope to see another entry in this series similar to this one because this is just a sick-ass game. Go Mecha Ball. Whoever thought of the idea of a shoot-'em-up roguelike and a hamster ball where you can pinball off of shit and ram into enemies like you are a wrecking ball from Overwatch, you deserve a raise, a big one. This game has such an amazingly vibrant and futuristic art style that I adore, a spritzy trip-hop soundtrack, fantastic progression and reward systems, and a super fun gameplay loop to top it all off. I love how kinetic it is, and every run always felt like I was working up to something, which I know that's the point of a roguelike, and all of them do it, but I do think that some roguelikes are able to present that feeling better than others, and this is one of them. I haven't heard anyone talk about it whatsoever, so I hope it gets some love soon. Threes. This game was actually a mobile game that came out over 10 years ago. The reason it's on my list is because it got ported to Steam this year, and I also only became aware of it this year as well, so there's that. Semantics aside, it's a great mathematical puzzle game. You have to move and match tiles based on their factors of 3, and it gets pretty intense the more tiles are racked up on screen. It's such a cozy, brain food kind of game. The art and music are so warm and inviting. I'm glad this got recommended to me when it did. If this looks interesting to you, it's only $3, so please don't do yourself a disservice. Yellow Taxi goes Vroom. Full disclaimer, I am an absolute Robert Rider when it comes to 3D platformers, especially collectathon ones, and this game checks off all the boxes for me. It's super adorable, super colorful, very inventive, very funny, and just very fun to play. I boot this game up, talk to Uncle Morio, Uncle Morio, and I immediately have a smile on my face. I think it's a great game, and it really holds its own as a 3D platformer. If you are as into the genre as I am, you'll love this. Stellar Blade. What an oddly charismatic video game. The writing isn't the best, and the characters aren't the most memorable, plus it has a lot of small issues for me. But I will be damned if I didn't say how much I truly enjoyed Stellar Blade. The combat is excellent, the levels are cool, the visuals are nice, and the music is outstanding. Does it take a lot, maybe too much from Nier Automata? Sure, I guess. But in the end, it won me over so easily, and it's just an awesome-ass video game. That's all I can really ask for. Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. I grew up loving Prince of Persia, especially the Sands of Time trilogy. I enjoyed the 2008 reboot and Forgotten Sands, but the series was losing a lot of its punch and ended up going on a 14-year hiatus, goddamn. There was that Sands of Time remake that I was interested in, but that has been in dev hell, and I hope it emerges as the best possible game it can be. So while that's still cooking, something had to fill the Prince of Persia void. And what did we get? The Lost Crown. And this game is fucking phenomenal. The soundtrack, banger. The visuals, banger. The aesthetic, banger. The fighting game Dragon Ball Z inspired combat, banger. The story, the bosses, banger. The level design, banger. The pace, banger. The sheer creativity and eureka factor, banger. It's so good, it's now my third favorite Metroidvania of all time. Helldivers 2. Before Helldivers 2 came out, I was astounded to see people call the game generic and just throw it off to the side when it was being showcased during Sony events like it didn't matter. I was like, are you guys not seeing how insanely cool this shit looks? Am I missing something here? I know I'm sounding a bit like LeBron James here, but I'm being honest. I thought Helldivers 2 was always going to be a sick game. I did not think it would get as popular as it did, but I'm glad it happened. This is one of the most charming and dynamic objective-based shooter experiences I have ever had the pleasure of playing. It looks incredible, it has such a distinct personality to it, and it's a super consumer-friendly live service game. It does practically everything right. I've spent a lot of time this year playing it alongside Suicide Squad and my #1 game so far, which you will see very soon. I can't wait to see how the game evolves. Kudos to Arrowhead, you guys deserve this. Tekken 8. This game is amazing. It's such a beautiful love letter to the series as a whole. It's so intense, so exciting. It's so much fun to play and understand. It's also been really fun to watch competitive events for it. They've been so hyped to watch. As it is currently, I think this game is amazing, and we're not even halfway through year 1 yet. It's got such a bright future ahead of it. This is my favorite game of the year so far, and I am crossing my fingers for my boy Lei Wulong to be added to the roster, as well as Kazuma Kiryu and Lalo Salamanca. Please make it happen, Harada. Now that my game rankings are out of the way, these are all of the games that have come out this year that I want to play. Will I be able to play all of them this year?
Fuck no, baby!
But I am still very much interested in them, and hopefully something catches your eye that you haven't seen before. Starting off with Portal Revolution, Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth, Apollo Justice Collection, Phantom Abyss, Plastomorphosis, Blaze Blue Entropy Effect, Lil Guardsman, Oblivion Override, Pangolin Cassowary, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload, Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore, Ultros, Islands of Insight, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, 502's Arcade, Bandletale, A League of Legends Story, Corporation, The Sorting Process, Nidus, I'll call it Nidus, Window Kill, Last Epoch, Pacific Drive, Spiritfall, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm actually halfway through it, I just have to finish it, Penny's Big Breakaway, Summer House, a difficult game about climbing, Berserk Boy, Anti-Paint, Llamasoft, The Jeff Minter Story, Death of a Wish, Raw Metal, Dragon's Dogma 2, Princess Peach, Showtime, Pepper Grinder, Saviorless, Biomorph, Turbo Golf Racing, Quit Today, Mini Shoot Adventures, Content Warning, Araban Shadow Legacy, Turbo Kid, Harold Halibut, Tales of Kanzaru Zhao, Another Crab's Treasure, Pools, Let Bygones Be Bygones, Surmount, a mountain climbing adventure, Indica, Heading Out, Cozy Space Survivors, V Rising, Animal Well, 1000X Resist, Capes, Crow Country, Little Kitty Big City, The Land Beneath Us, Mullet Madjack, Dread Delusion, Archaeo Gem, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Robobeat, Paper Trail, Hellblade 2, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, Haunty, Duck Detective: The Secret Salami, Arcade GK, Harvest Hunt, Rooftops and Alleys, Isles of Sea and Sky, Astor: Blade of the Monolith, Multiverses, Nine Souls, Pine Hearts, Nightmare Cart, and Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. For this section, these are all the games that have a confirmed date for later this year. Again, not going to be able to get to all of them, but still a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to. Starting off with Destiny 2 The Final Shape, Blood, Still Wakes the Deep, Shadow of the Erdtree, SMT5 Vengeance, Gestalt Steam and Cinder, Shim, Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Arrow GPX, Black Myth Wukong, Concord, Gory, Cuddly Carnage, Star Wars Outlaws, not at full price, Stalker 2, Astrobot, Space Marines 2, Silent Hill 2, Metaphor ReFantazio, Assassin's Creed Shadows, also not at full price, Anton Blast. And for the final section, since Gaming Christmas is once again upon us with Summer Games Fest and a bunch of other showcases this week, these are games I hope to get a proper release window for and games I hope to get an update on in some way. And for the final time, starting off with Dying Light 2 Expansion, Risk of Rain 2 Expansion, Hades 2 1.0, No Rest for the Wicked 1.0, The Rogue Prince of Persia 1.0, Shadows of Doubt 1.0, Wonder Woman 1.0, I'm just kidding, Light No Fire, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Death Stranding 2, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Tax Force, Where Winds Meet, Angerfoot, Ballad of Antara, Skate Story, Plucky Squire, Replaced, Avowed, Batman Arkham Shadow, someone please buy me a MetaQuest 3, Bionic Bay, Lost Soul Aside, Monster Hunter Wilds, Path of Exile 2, Marathon, Indiana Jones, Immortal in the Death That Follows, Europa, Epic Mickey Rebrushed, Zakon, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Ghost Bike, Haste, Broken Worlds, 33 Immortals, Heartworm, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, 2XKO, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Killing Floor 3, Marvel Rivals, Wolf Among Us 2, where the fuck is it? God damn it, where is it? A Sister's Journey, Arc Raiders, Hyper Lightbreaker, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Advent Neon, Spine, Metal Slug Tactics, where has this game been? What the hell? Rivals 2, Shadow of the Ninja Reborn, Realm of Ink, Metroid Prime 4, I beg of you Nintendo, please! Stick It to the Stickman, Crowsworn, Dome King Cabbage, Blazing Strike, Wild Bastards, Grapple Dogs Cosmic Canines, Emberbane, Holston, Withersworn, Valley Peaks, 420 Blaze It 2 Game of the Year Dank Dreams and Goated Memes, #WoW/11 like and subscribe Poggers Edition, Radio the Universe, Greenfield, Death Grip, Neva, Skin Deep, Akatori, She Dreams Elsewhere, Earthblade, Ruffy and the Riverside, Orbitals, Flock, Dead Static Drive, Nivalis, Lucid, Mariachi Legends, Soulblade, Abyss X Zero, Nirvana Noir, Conscript, Thank Goodness You're Here, Rose and Locket, Troubleshooting, Hollow Body, Elsie, Combo Devils, Naiad, I think? Please correct my pronunciation if you can. Mika and the Witch's Mountain, Echo Point Nova, Mob Spawn, Windblown, Kill Knight, Diesel Legacy The Brazen Age, No Pewter, Fallen Aces, Slitterhead, and finally Pragmata. I've been waiting for this game forever. I hope to see it soon. Oh, and Silksong, I guess. That was a pretty long list. I hope some of those games caught your eye. I would love to see your lists in the comments down below on the games you're playing or the games that you want to play. Like and sub if you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.